you. Keep sharing, keep sharing. We'll start in the next 1 minute. Invite your friends. We'll have like 2, 3, 500 people watching. At once, all at once, we're going to kick off. I think we need everybody to get this message. The reason why we have to share it extensively. And I'm going to be saying something very important today. I think the music is good. It's good to go. Steve Crown, you are great. You know, God is great. Ambazonia is great. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow countrymen, fellow Ambazonians, you're welcome to this very special show that, you know, I have nursed the courage to come back to you so that we can talk some issues that matter about the revolution. And while you join, invite your friends, and then you continuously type free our leaders, free Sesekwayok Tabejilos, free Manchon. We have to carry on the campaign of freeing our leaders in our own little way, because for everything you do, your own little contribution pushes the struggle ahead. We have to continuously put our hands on deck in making sure that we move to Boya. You know, and while you join, you could also indicate, you say hello, you're watching from Texas, like my friend just did, you're watching from Switzerland, from Ground Zero. And I want to take this opportunity to greet all those who are watching, especially from Anjing in Bello, from those who are watching from Anjang, still in Bello. I want to say a special salute, and especially all of you from Bello, particularly thinking of everybody who is also watching from Genicom, and in fact, everybody from Boyo Division, Boyo County, preferably we say Boyo County. And I'm also thinking about all those who are watching from Lipenja, Barombe. I know one of your brothers, Etuebea, has been shot and killed by La Republic forces. I just posted that. That's what delayed me coming online. You go to my wall, there's a post there on the destruction of houses in Anjing and Bello, and the killing of civilians in Lipenja, Barombe, and of course the gunshot in the Kondo Titi. You have to share that widely. I'll be talking something about sharing posts today on social media. I also want to greet the very good and strong people of Mbalangi and Ediki in Meme County. You know, I am sorry for your loss, and I understand how the family of our brother feels now, because I have been down that path. I'm always down there because I put myself in your positions, you know. And of course, God bless you guys, those of you from Kwakwa, those of you who are listening from Bekora, Bafakabalue, from Tikumebalue, if you're listening from Lobe, those listening from Monyenge, those listening from Monyenge Peace, from Biking Bandi. If you are listening from Akwaya, from Bombay, if you're listening from Asaka, from Abonando, from Tinta, from Kekpani, those of you who are listening from Kendem, from Baton Number, from Afu, if you're listening from Nyanaba, from Egbemo, wherever you're listening, so the volume is not good. Let me see this. Just a minute. Try to adjust the volume. I think we're good now. So wherever you're watching in Southern Cameroon, this is a patriotic salute. And I think we have a considerable amount of viewers already. We're going to kick off. And those of you watching from the BLM, from all the counties, from Kupe Maninguba, you know, from Meme, from Fako, from Mezam, from Momo, from Ngoketunja, and those of you watching from Menchum, from Ndonga Mantung, wherever you're watching, it's a pleasure being with you today. And God bless you all. And this is the spirit. I want to start saying one very important thing before I move to other issues. You know, I lost my family members, you know, direct relatives and cousins, you know, who were killed in Kendem. And, you know, and the burned down houses of my brothers and very close friends in Kendem. And it's been very devastating, and that's why Uh, I don't get that. So that's why I have been observing, and the incident in my village in Kendem, and by extension in my mother's village, because my father and my mother come from neighboring villages, and I'm not scared to talk about my villages because they know my villages since I've been in Manu, and I was carrying out a very important economic and social activity, so I was known by everybody in Manu. I'm discussed at that level. So if I say my village is condemned, so not condemned child should be scared that, oh, you're exposing our village, because they already know. That's why I tell people that there are facts that you can't hide, that are not facts, that are not confidential, that are not sensitive. It's a fact that I'm condemned. My mother is neighboring village, which is Number. And so all those villages to write, Bato is a part of Number. It's not actually a village on its own. It's under Number. It's a quarter what they call Number my 42 or Bato Number. It was also affected. Well, no, you would think that telling them about my village is risky because you don't know me that well, because they know me, and that is not the point. I'm just trying to get it out straight there that during this period where my village was attacked, it gave me some time off social media live shows to have a rethink about our struggle, about our strategy. I've been thinking, and I've done critical analysis, and I've really seen that. I've gone through some of the posts, some of the things I had written, and we probably, I don't know why some people complain about volume. I think the volume is okay. Is it okay now? Let me see this. Is the volume okay now? I'm sure the volume is okay. So I've been thinking very seriously about this struggle, the Southern Cameroon struggle. The period of genocide in my village gave me the time to think about a lot of things. And I came to the conclusion that we are our own killers. And, for this struggle to continue and for us to succeed, there is one thing we must do. And, we probably do not understand the fact that all of us are already on exile if we don't get to Boya. And so I've been thinking over and over again, and I've watched my other fellow colleagues, activists, and some bloggers write things, and I've been observing. And I look at it with a lot of attention because of the importance you and I attach to this struggle. And I came to the first conclusion that we are going to kill the struggle ourselves. This is a time for truth, and I want to try as much as possible not to raise issues that will cause division, like some of you said, because sometimes they said the worst harm comes from the best intention. So I want to put it down. And I start by saying this very important thing about sharing posts or Facebook posts. How to share these posts. It's a very important thing. And what I've noticed, that there is need for us to understand a very significant issue in this struggle. Please, while you join, you invite your friends, then you also type "Free Our Leaders," or you type "There is genocide in Southern Cameroon." Just keep typing something to provoke the enemy, something the way you feel about the struggle. Keep typing. And like I was saying, that there is something very significant about this struggle, what we share. I have noticed that we share things that do not help the struggle. We share things that help in killing the struggle. What is important is exposing the nefarious contingent genocidal acts of Mr. Biya, of the government. What the government is doing to our people. We are helpless people. And sometimes I ask myself that, what do I gain as a journalist for bringing up news? And then some people think that you must come to criticize or you must not share because it's coming from Eric Tataw. It's bizarre because what we need to share most are the news items that show the bad side of Mr. Biya. News items that show genocide. How can you explain it? The first truth is that you don't want to think that if you share somebody's stuff, the person becomes popular. That is not the reason, because at this stage of the struggle, you should not be talking about popularity and who wants to be known, because everybody knows every activist. The same rate at which an activist is known, or everybody on social media knows that there is A, there is B, there is C. Even those who don't even post news regularly, you know that this post exists. So I ask that, why do we kill our struggle by ourselves? We decide to follow people and groups, like my brother is just talking, other than the struggle. How can you explain the fact that I get a picture of a pregnant woman in a bush in Bechati, or a woman who has given birth in the bush, or who has been delivered of a bouncing baby girl in the bush, and then I post it with a very authoritative picture with a true story, as authentic as it is happening. And then maybe 20, 40 people come to share it, or 60. But they post that 200 soldiers have died. When you know in your heart that is a lie, you share it 100 or 200. Who are you killing? You killing Eric Tataw, or you're killing yourself? Are you killing Eric Tataw, or you're killing the struggle? That's what I asked. You have to take time off to share most of those posts that show our people as being vulnerable. Share the things that show the burning of a house in Anjin. In Anjin, the burn of a house in Bello, the destruction in Kwakwa. Share those things massively. Let them go to places. You don't help me. If I cared about wanting to have many shares, I'll follow the line of people who report about 10,000 soldiers, 2,000 soldiers being killed. But that is not the truth. What we need is to show the world that we are vulnerable, we are helpless people who are being killed. Is to show the world more of what Mr. Biya is doing to our people. Not the other way around. Why you, if I post, listen, it's an appeal. Because I know everybody who, okay, take for example, at the end of this show, we'll have, you can take for example a show that you have 50,000 views. You have 20,000, 30,000, 10,000. Why? Why those 10,000 people viewing the show? Why can't they share? You guys are viewing already 264 live. Why can't you share? Everybody who is viewing. Why can't you like? To show the power of what you believe in. Why? What is the problem? Is it about Eric Tataw? Do you pay me for going to get news from Bechati, from Lipenja, from Mbalangi to post to you? They kill a civilian. They burn somebody in Mongondo. The SGO is organizing a meeting to call for refugees, which you don't like, and then you only read, you don't share, you don't like, you only stay quiet, you don't comment positively. Come on. We're killing the struggle by ourselves. We have to learn to share the things of even those who consider us enemies on social media, if it helps the struggle. I'm appealing to everybody. This is a communication tool. I started by talking about it today. That what are the things you have to share most? Those that show those pregnant women in the bushes giving birth, children out there, those that show civilians, 23 civilians being killed around Nyandek in Batibo in the forest, those that show villages in Kendem being burned down, and in Beme and in Baton Nomba, those that show how vulnerable people have become in Akwaya, in Kembong, in Kwakwa, in Bello, in Anjing, in Anjan. Those that show them the genocide in the Kondo Titi, in Lobe, and so on and so forth. Or those that show the fake pictures of soldiers who were never killed. That's the question I've come to ask you people today. I have had a review, and I've been looking at a lot of things. Do I care about the fact that you're going to like my stuff? No, I don't care. But you have to like it for the sake of the struggle. Because, listen, I am not paying allegiance to any group. I don't give a damn which group exists. I think about the people of Southern Cameroons. As a journalist and a human rights activist, I have the singular obligation to expose the human rights violations of the regime. And that's what I do with my writings. There has been any post that you see talking about the death of a civilian, you have to share widely. How can 1,000 people watch a small short video and you have 20 people sharing? Or 5,000 people? No. Everybody is supposed to share. Everybody is supposed to share the things that show us as being vulnerable. You're watching a show, invite your friends to get the message that they too have to share. Your views don't add anything to my bank account. They don't add nothing on my table. They don't add an extra oxygen in my lungs. Neither will your views add my number of years to live on earth. I'm going to die when I'm going to die. Your views and shares will not change the fact that I come from Kendem, or I'm Manu, or I'm there, or that, or this. It doesn't change nothing. It only changes one thing. That is the struggle. It pushes the struggle ahead. It's not about Eric Tataw. It's not about A, B, C, D. It's not about who you like. It's about what you want, and what you want is Boya. That is what is essential. We have passed the stage of all this rigmarole and politics on social media. I talk as a very touched Southern Cameroonian who has seen and felt, the impact of this struggle. As an activist, I have seen it all. And we will not continue to condole with those who want to destroy the struggle. If you think that you destroy the struggle, you have to kill Eric Tataw first before you destroy the struggle. As a matter of fact, let me tell you people something. There are people that I watch them, I see them on social media, I see the extent to which they go to discredit people, not actually criticizing. I mean, you come to discredit somebody. When you know something is the truth, you only want to say, no, it's a lie. Fake news, fake this, that, because you think that it's Eric Tataw that posted. And so you want to make people not to believe what he's saying. But everybody believes this guy. And sometimes I think that if I have my way, there are people that I think in my heart that I will take these people, I lock them up somewhere. They disturb social media. I will lock them up and only release them until when we have had independence. I lock them up. It's too much. Enough is enough. Now, those who just came in were talking about sharing posts that exposed La République des Morts. They kill soldiers. It's good to share, no doubt, to give the spirit of success, enthusiasm. But it's also good to share more of those pictures showing pregnant women in the bushes, women giving birth in the bushes. Share and like them more. I mean, if you see a picture of a woman that has given birth in the bush, you have to like 2,000 or even 3, 5, 10,000 likes. That is what you're supposed to do, so that the international community knows that you're concerned. You have to share 10,000 of you. Share and invite your friends to share. I'm not talking about only my own. I mean everybody who is posting those things that expose the regime, that shows those things that show human rights violation, those things that show that our people are suffering. You have to share them massively. That's what is important. Now, another thing I want to address myself to the interim government this time. And, there's one thing about me. I'm not God, I'm not a perfect person, but I try to be meticulous and to make sure that I avoid mistakes as much as I can. But I do them all the time, though. I want to address myself to the interim government and to any other group that's listening. There are people within the interim government that must be called to order. And I will not, when I want to talk, I don't get scared calling people's names, because as a journalist, the event and the event maker are inseparably linked. It means that you cannot report something without somebody must cause an event. Events, either it's caused by a tree, you must tell the people exactly what you have to tell them. Let me say something here. I want the interim government to call some of its ministers or whatever to order, or secretaries. You know, it is important for us to know that this is a revolution that involves the lives of people. I want to say this very clearly, that I respect the interim government. I respect everybody who puts in the strength for this struggle to succeed. I address myself to members of the interim government who know what I'm talking about. That when you have a position in the interim government, you know, you should leave the ranting for some of us activists. You have to talk with a lot of concern, though it doesn't mean that you have to insult a member of the interim government on Facebook and then things that the person will allow you know. I think that that person sometimes will ignore, but sometimes will reply. So the point here is this. I seize the opportunity to talk about Dr. Nick Santos, who is in charge of this press house, secretary for the press house secretary, that there are things that he's not supposed to say them. Dr. Nick Santos must be orientated to, you know, to form a core of what communication is all about. Because, you know, this is the time for reconciliation. We have to reconcile voices. All activists must look towards a particular direction. I said that in the last 2-3 weeks when my village got attacked. I have been watching a lot of things, and I've been looking at the possibility to reconcile everybody so that we can have a collective fight. And we do not want people who will keep on attacking groups. Attack an ideology. I have never attacked a group. I attack ideologies in the group that I think that they are not right. Some people might misinterpret it as Eric Tataw attacking a group or individual. No, I don't have no particular issue with you. I don't have no exact problem with any individual in the struggle. So it's a call to order for Dr. Nick Santos that he has to reshape the press house briefing. Tell us what's happening with the interim government, what we expect, what we should do, and defend some positions that people claim is done by the interim government that isn't. Don't go further attacking people. That one is for us activists to put these people to order. Give the briefing, sometimes don't respond. So I think that Dr. Nick Santos has been doing an excellent job. He's been very articulating, you know, he's been articulating very well. But sometimes he misses the point. He misses the point, and he has to put his head up and look at exactly some of the things. If at any point the interim government needs my professional counsel on how issues like this can be handled, I will gladly give them for free. But I am not going to work with any group or person or any government. I still want to make that point clear, because I want to keep my head high to be able to criticize you when you do things that are not right. So that when I'm staying quiet, it should not be because I'm in the government. It should be because I decide to stay quiet or because I'm not seeing reason enough to criticize. I leave Dr. Nick Santos and other issues within his press briefing concord. I move to Secretary for Communication, Chris Anu. I have looked all this while, and I said it, that I've been observing. And I was particularly at a point, not happy, I don't want to say disappointed, in the communication secretary because of his attack on Comrade Dr. Yabacho Lucas, considering the social affairs delegate of regional delegate for social affairs for Northwest. who was arrested, in quotes, some time ago. I think that the secretary, please, when you come in, invite friends. We need everybody to get this message. Invite more people, share, and then like the video so that we get the impact that we need. It's important. It's very necessary. You know. So, the secretary did not have the moral standing. No, I don't want to say moral standing because he's a morally, you know. Let me say he doesn't have the revolutionary capacity in terms of the reality to question why somebody should be arrested. I think his outing on Comrade Ayabacho was uncalled for. And but the secretary is an exceptionally very hardworking communication secretary for Ambazonians. I accept that. But I think that trying to attack Comrade Ayabacho was more or less something born, people can consider it as being born out of prejudice. With that said, I think the interim government needs to call these meetings and put some of these people on track. But they're doing quite great, and I trust the communication expertise of Secretary Chris Anu. I move from there, I go to Comrade Ayabacho Lucas, and I ask only one question. In as much as I disagree with Secretary Chris Anu for his outing, I also see some level of reason. Every reasoned and objective mind will accept too that what can be the raison d'etre behind holding that delegate for all this while. People who have been arrested or kidnapped, if you like, whatever name you want to call it, depending on your diction and the choice of your vocabulary and intention, you want to ask yourself that why are we still holding this delegate of social affairs? That delegate or the duo or whoever is not a prisoner, is not Ayabacho's prisoner. It's not your prisoner, it's an Ambazonian captive. Let me put it that way. And the Ambazonian people have the right to ask you, what is the situation with your captive? What are you doing? Where are these people? They have the right to ask. And we wouldn't want to blame the secretary to an extent because there's a reason for that. I also see reason. Let me tell you people, should it be that this man has been killed, as it's been claimed, it's a big problem to this revolution. Because you cannot arrest somebody, you parade that person as you to have been arrested, and then you turn around and kill that person. If you have parade somebody on video that you have arrested that person, the international community expects you to do the honorable thing. You have to keep that person safe. Because we cannot be crying the same thing that La Republic, oh, our leaders, this, that, we have to see them, and all of that shit. And La Republic comes up every time to assure us that our leaders are alive. They have not shown us images, but we have started showing images, which we should do. That's the honorable thing, because by keeping our leaders incommunicado and not showing images, La Republic is violating their rights. But Comrade Ayabacho did well, showing the initial image or images of the delegate. But when he's accused of having killed him, he's supposed to make a new video. And all of you Ambazonians, you have that responsibility to call these people to order. This is your struggle. It's not their struggle. It's not my struggle. It's our struggle, your struggle. You know. And we cannot put ourselves in a position where we find ourselves wanting and we destroy and corrupt the image of this struggle on the international scene. I have lost loved ones. My property has been destroyed, you know, and a lot of things have happened. And I understand those people back there in Big Bandi, in Bongé, in other areas in Bello and other counties that have been affected. And I want to say that we have to understand one thing about this struggle. We're in a stage where we must put ourselves on the table and ask crucial questions, while at the same time being our brother's keepers. We must obviously keep ourselves in a position of no compromise. Let me tell our activists something. All those of us doing activism, we owe Ground Zero and Diaspora the responsibility to direct them towards the right path. We must stop politicking in this revolution and stop corroding the image of our struggle on the international scene. When Punchline Television, or Punchline TV if you like, asks that crucial question, and that's what the international community is asking, how are we going to avoid a post-South Sudan scenario in Cameroon or Southern Cameroon? And some activists are so dishonest, they are so chaotic, so myopic, to deny the fact that we don't have a post-Sudan, South Sudan situation. We have it. In fact, we, at this stage, when I read the drama on social media, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, we are worse than South Sudan. Very much, you wouldn't believe it. But it's so bad, it's so pathetic. The press outings of our activists. I try to do my best. And lately, I talked to my communication team and my wife and say that I've already made my point enough on social media. Everybody knows that I don't block nobody and I can reply every comment on my wall. But lately, I've looked at it that it is waste of my time. There are a lot of things to do. And I will reply when I can reply. But if you notice, you have the right to say anything. It's not my business anymore. You've tried so long to discredit me, to rub my name into mud, for those of you who tried. And you've said a lot of things. But I didn't bother. I don't bother anymore. Because the struggle is bigger than those things you say. The struggle is a struggle. And there is division amongst activists trying to please their masters for whatever reasons, I don't know. And we should understand that those people will go, but this revolution is going to remain. Southern Cameroon is going to remain. And for us to stay on track, we have to motivate those on ground zero by telling them the truth. Every time you speak the truth, you push somebody to take a step that is consistent with self-determination. We have to go to Boya and we have to do the right thing. Now, I want to move to this very important point. Share and invite people. According to very confirmed and authoritative sources, over 80 million has been taken as ransom from victims of kidnapping. And this is the interesting thing. And I want us to listen very attentively. I want to make an analysis here and draw conclusions that you will be happy after all if you're objective. During the arrest of the Tunisians, it is confirmed that the unknown men, it could be La République, it could be thieves, it could be some Chadians, it could be Nigerians, it could be Ambazonians. I don't know them. That's why I call them unknown men. For those who know them, since I've already named the restoration forces, that's fine. They have a deal to face. But I call them unknown men. The unknown men collected 50 million from the Tunisians. This one is not gossip. It's not a joke. It's a fact. Okay, I'm coming. They collected 50 million and they were asking an additional 20 million. And something happened. So that's 50 million already from my sources. And then Professor Leket Tambo, it was widely rumored, like you all know, that they paid 20 million. That's 70 million. Okay. Family members and friends of Justice Mbeng, Martin, who was kidnapped. I want to use the word kidnapped because I'm going to come to something very important about arrest. In his native village in the Weletu, reportedly paid 5 million. 50 plus 20 is 70 million. Plus 5 million is 75 million. And then the councillor for Ginicom, Madame Mersin Nang, the wife of the Baptist pastor, reportedly paid 1.5 million to whosoever. That is already 76.5 million. And then we move from there. The Secretary General of the Nguti Council, who was arrested or kidnapped, also paid 1 million. That would have been 77.5 million. So that's something in the neighborhood of 80 million francs taken from people. There are other booty that must have been collected that cannot be reported because we cannot have every fact everywhere at every time. So you're talking about 80 million that I know, that I'm aware of, that I'm sure of, that I've talked to sources and I can authoritatively, to an extent, confirm, except those sources trying to mislead me. But all of you know that these people paid some ransom though. And then, in Pamol, where you have the Lobe Pamol Estate, there is a cooperative, a credit union in Lobe, known as the Lobe Cooperative Credit Union. So this cooperative credit union, listen very, very keenly. This credit union is the credit union that pays Pamol workers. So for over 3 months, like I gathered, that's why they kidnapped Mr. Epie. The accountant, the chief accountant of the Lobe Cooperative Credit Union was kidnapped. That was the only person that was kidnapped. If you hear about the general manager of Pamol, he wasn't kidnapped. Mr. Okon is there, he's fine, he's okay. They took away or kidnapped the accountant of the Lobe Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Epie. And this is what happened. I gathered from very unparalleled sources that they are not paid Pamol workers for 3 months. And they were going to pay them just when they kidnapped the day the incident happened. That was like 1, 2, 3, about Wednesday or something. I can't really put it straight. It's in my write-up though. So the manager had left, as I hear, to pick up some money. I cannot disclose the place and stuff. But people from inside told me very authoritatively. And because Pamol does business with Azul, the Savon. So they have been supplying this crude oil for the production of Savon, and Azul finally paid some money. So I got hint that the manager came to pick up over 100 million from a bank around Kumba or something. And during payday, people already get alerted that they are going to pay. Like when they pay Demonte, Tico, and elsewhere, you hear all those stories. Workers know they are steaming up. So these guys knew that they were paying Pamol workers and Lobe Cooperative Credit Union. The money would enter someday. It seemed they have had some kind of hint. So they came there to pick up that money, and they didn't succeed. So in turn, they took the accountant and his private computer having accounts of people and all of that. So this is what I want to say. So if they are taking that money, we'll be talking about 200 million already taken because of the struggle. 200 million. But they didn't succeed. Okay, this is my problem that I want us Ambazonians to understand. When you come in, please invite friends and share massively. Now, the problem is this. Comrade Dr. Yabacho Lucas has been very calm lately. He doesn't take responsibility, claim every responsibility anymore, but before he's been claiming. And he refuses anything to do with ransom from kidnappers. That is fair enough. The interim government is in charge and says that the government of the people. Yet they too refuse taking anything, having anything to do with kidnapping and ransom and all of that. That's fair enough. La République denies it totally and instead paints a bad picture of call us secessionists. That is fair enough. They are doing their own business. So these are 3 people who are involved. 3 major people. Interim government, La République, and Comrade Ayaba, who is also claiming responsibility. Now everybody refuses the issue of taking a ransom, and La République blames it on us. So now this is the problem, and this is exactly my problem, and it should be your problem. If La République is blaming on us, Comrade Ayaba is refusing, interim government is refusing, it means there's one problem. The core of this issue is because there is no coordination. And so I want to believe that either the interim government listen, these are the possibilities. Either the interim government is responsible for the ransom, either Ayabacho is responsible for the ransom, or La République is playing tricks and trying to say we are taking ransom. These are the possibilities. And then the fourth possibility is that there are groups of people who have formed gangs, thieves, and armed robbers who are now feeding from the struggle and making themselves richer while the masses are dying. Okay, so there are 4 things that are involved. Now, how can we solve this problem? The only reason why we have this scenario is because there is chaos, since we don't have this central coordination of our forces on the ground, those who defend homeland. Since everybody is doing everything in their own direction, one other group is doing in this direction, another group is doing in that direction, and people are going this way and all that, we ask a question. Why can we not have a total form of core coordination? The lack of unity and coordination is giving La Republic the power to paint us as black as they want to paint us. And I will say it today, and I will still say it tomorrow, that the time for reconciliation is now. There is no boss in this struggle. There is no government bigger than you and I. Everybody is a leader. We must put hands on deck and kick out this bad name that our republic wants to give us. Now, listen very attentively. If we were to have some beautiful form of coordination, we know that everybody, there's a defense group and everybody is taking care of their own site. You're not coming under the defense group because you want to be controlled. No. Because we want to have coordination so that Ground Zero will feel the impact. In this case, when we have this kind of coordination, we will not longer talk of kidnapping. We'll talk of arrest. The group will define those to be arrested. Why? What explanation can you give to me, Eric Tataw, that you arrested Justice Mbeng, who is a retired magistrate? Of what importance is that person to Mr. Biya? If not some score settling, some stuff that I don't know, or some criminals who just want to do things their way. If you assume that Justice Mbeng is a sellout to La Republic, there are ways to deal with sellouts that I don't want to talk here. There are ways you can deal with sellouts. Let me sound a very clear warning. I am against anybody arresting anybody, taking the person away and killing the person. That is something that even God will not accept. It is not done anywhere in the world. You cannot arrest somebody who is helpless and you go kill that person. It can never happen. Now, if we have coordination, we'll talk about arrest, that Ambazonia has arrested Justice Mbeng for this reason. We put it out there for the international community to know. And we stand on the term arrest. When the Republic says kidnap, we say it's arrest. We take the responsibility at that time. Because there is coordination. You define what fine a person is supposed to pay depending on the crime. We make a penal code for Ambazonia. This struggle is no longer a joke. So that you need to know who you are arresting. Do you just go and arrest people anyhow? Because you put it up in the arrest traitors. People will be killing people with whom they have had problems in the past. Look at what happened in Akwaya. They killed the young guy, Mr. Embus Ignatius Ashu of Akwaya, who was the Cameroon National Youth Council President, Akwaya chapter. He went to visit the wife. They caught him at Asaka, moved him to Bombay in the moderators village and killed him there. So that he was selling information to the Republic. Is that reason enough to kill somebody? Don't we have other punishment other than killing people who sell that information? Let me tell us something. You cannot kill my brother and expect me to support this struggle anymore. Give me reason, save my brother's life, give him a mark, and warn him and send him back to me. What do you think about the families? What do you think about the family of the chief of Mbeme? That they'll be happy with Ambazonians? What do you think about that little child who was shot and killed in Widikum? That the father will be happy? What do you also think about the family of Mr. Embus Ignatius, who was killed in Bombay and brought back to Akwaya for burial on Wednesday? What do you think about the family of Mr. Flasco Akumi Anyong village after Sekem in Guti, around Manyamen. What do you think about those families? Listen, we have to put ourselves in a position of true conscience. You know, we have to be conscientious enough. We have to be courteous enough to know what is right. I want to tell us one thing. Once we have a coordination that is unbeatable, we're going to beat the Republic before tomorrow comes. We need to say we have arrested Justice Mbeng, or we have arrested the chief of Mbeme, because he's selling information to the public. We have this chief. We show periodic videos of the chief and the people we're arresting, you know, so that we keep their families aware. Excuse me. And when this is done, we are keeping the families aware and keeping the Republic aware and making our bargains. If we need to ask the family to pay for the arrest, we don't call it any more ransom. We now call it fine. It's a fine for violating our laws. We have fine placed on rules and regulations when you go against them. You know, in other countries, those of you who live in the diaspora, when you bypass, you run above speed limit, you run above, you go above the, you know, the posted signs and all whatnot, you pass the school bus, you know what can happen to your license and all that shit. They call it fines. But some of you who are in the system call it a ransom that the government is taking from you somehow, because it's not easy. So the problem is the name that you give to the things that you do. It's a fine. It's not a ransom. And so we have to watch out. Please forget about leaders. I'm talking to activists. This struggle is going that way because some activists think that they must support some leaders. Look at what happened with the UNPO. I look at it and I read what some activists were writing. How people said they were going to kill people, they were going to do this, and at the end of the day, you see how much the propaganda betrayed some of our activists. People on Ground Zero are killing themselves. They are dying every day, and we're on Facebook saying things that don't exist. You lie to the people. You go and stand beside somewhere. You take a picture, and you stand somewhere. You take another picture. You put it together how you were doing this. People presented that. Ambazonia is this, is that. All those lies. I mean, and now that the other people who sent some other person, they have caught the lies. They have gone and brought another video that this man who was doing the presentation was doing it by this year in March, not April, because they want to make sure that since they have caught them, these other people too should be discredited. I mean, what kind of struggle is this? People fighting to make sure that a group is discredited, another group is accredited. This one is happening. I mean, what is the problem? Yes, a very important thing that I'll come back to this. Let me just react to this hint. Yeah, to ask that who is paying the ransom. That's why I said that it could be Ambazonians taking ransom, it could be La Republic, it could be Nigerians. I don't know nobody who is doing that. And I stand by my word saying that they are unknown persons. But I was saying that this 80 million and more that have been collected in ransom, as people want to claim, is an issue because there is no way the people who defend homeland, they keep suffering every day. They keep suffering every day. And people take money that don't get to them. People take this struggle personal, and we cannot be in this particular situation every time. So, with that said, I was talking about this issue of people taking pictures and fooling people on things that they are doing when they are doing nothing. It's same thing that another lady went to the Congress and took pictures and put out there that they were having meetings in the Congress, which was not true. You cannot have meetings in the Congress. We don't even see a video. Anything in the Congress, you can televise in America. If you are talking with a senator, you have the right to take pictures with that senator. You have the right to take videos. They don't prohibit you. That's why everything in the American Congress is open. It's live. CNN is there. Fox is there. Everybody has the right. You can ask somebody to take pictures with you or video, a short video during your presentation. Some other person went somewhere in the UN and took pictures that they have done this. Some other person went and sat in front of Facebook that they have done what people sit here. What is the problem with these people? This thing is not a showbiz business. You can't be saying things that you know they are lies, and you keep saying them. You think that these people don't know you are telling them lies? So the reason why we do all these things is because we want to impress people to keep our groups on top of other groups, or to keep ourselves. But if you don't have anything that you're thinking about any group, you will not be bothering yourselves. I want to say this to Ground Zero. You already know those who fool you. You know how to choose your friends. You know where to place your allegiance. There is nothing like a group. There is only one thing, which is our focus going to Boya. There is only one thing like a government that we all know. If we see what happens in South Africa, where the Vice President, His Excellency Milton Tataw, was at Mami Winnie's memorial or funeral rather, it gives us pride. You know, we have to put ourselves in a position where we are loved by the world. We have to reconcile these groups, all those activists. Me, I don't want to be talking about, oh, this man, this, that. I just want to be observed. And this is the message I've preached all the time, because it's important for us to change strategy. You know, everything happens like we have force majeure. Some things are happening now that we didn't expect they were going to happen. But we're already there. How do we come out of it? We have to be courageous enough in making sure that we do not do the things that will discredit us. We have to be courageous enough to make sure that we do not do the things that will discredit us. This struggle is above everybody. And if you want to go to Boya, forget about a group. Concentrate on what is legitimate. To me, I want to say it here without turning left or right. I stand by no leader, no member of Southern Cameroon, but I stand by the interim government as a government representing the people, not because Dr. Sako is there or because I know A or B or Z. No. I don't have time for any individual in that group. When it was Sisiko, I embraced it. Now it's Dr. Sako, I've embraced it. Because it's the IG, the interim government, that is an umbrella for us to respect and follow. But if people think otherwise, that is your opinion. Now, another big call to the interim government. There is this very big thing that you people don't know. You have a defense council. And you have people there that I hear that, you know, they have support in order to assist pregnant women on the ground, on Ground Zero, and other youths who have been wounded by La Republique, or to support them to defend themselves. Because you people don't sponsor, you know, because La Republique want to say, oh, so they sponsor stuff. No, they support people, that's the language, to defend themselves, and also pregnant women to give birth, you know, in a beautiful way possible. I want to tell the interim government something. All the money that you give to some of these people, they don't reach those people that need the money. Put this one in your ears. They don't reach those people. There is no way you can continuously give money and it ends in the hands of people. They send money somewhere, it doesn't reach. And every day people are crying. For all those of you who are watching me now from Ground Zero, you have my number every time. You have an issue that I want to direct to the interim government. Once you send to me, or you have an issue you want to direct to Comrade Ayaba or any frontline leader, when you send to me, I will forward to them. I have all their contacts immediately. If they don't react, know that they have decided not to react. I know everything. I have messages, pictures, videos that some of you send from Ground Zero, and I watch them and I cry for you people. Don't think that I don't read you. I don't send your messages. I forward them. And for those who have sent me messages on WhatsApp for some time, you know, after the issue in my village, I've been down. I've not had enough time to look at some WhatsApp messages. And then sometimes when I'm forwarding news items to my contacts, and then you might be writing me, thank you, or bro, how, I will not reply immediately because I'm forwarding. So by the time I forward to the other person to come, your message has gone right under, new messages have come, so I'll take time to read them. So don't think that I ignore you. I don't ignore nobody because a few people have complained like that. So I want to thank you people. Like I've said before I close this show, the very beginning, I talked of, of sharing posts that will promote the struggle. We have to share them extensively. Like we are watching, if you're watching 400 of you, why don't you invite more of your friends to come together and then make sure that the message is gone right? Don't share because it is a particular person who is doing a video or this or that. And I still want to beg people that the very attitude that I'm talking about, we are still exhibiting here by calling people scam and all of that. Nobody is perfect, but we have to also restructure our language. Sometimes when I become hard, it's because it's really an issue. And talking about my trip to Boya, those of you who know, I have never mentioned it on my wall. Because when I do, they'll say it's because it's supporting the interim government. That is because I am still observing what's going on. And when I will decide to start a campaign for my trip to Boya, it means that I've seen that it's a very genuine thing. For now, I want to urge people to keep on contributing in what they believe in. And there's one thing that is important, morality. You contribute in what you believe in, but you must be tele-guided by morality where you're contributing. Don't give your money to individuals. Give your money to, even if it's a visual country, give your money to a visual country. And the interim government should also extend a hand of assistance to some of these baby or sister organizations that have decided not to join for now. You can give something to the AGC or whatever. It's good faith. Do a contribution, a donation, and stuff like that. So, thank you people very much. Before I go, I make an appeal to all civil servants who are listening to me. I ask you one question, that think of the power the SDOs, the DOs, the state councils, the gendarmes and the police used to have in the past. Would you imagine that in the past, 5 police can control villages with over 10,000 people, or 2, 3, 4,000 people? Yes, they control it effectively, and you are scared when you have a convocation from one policeman or one gendarme. You're scared of the DO. But today, even 1,000 policemen cannot control a village as small as even Kwakwa. That is to tell people that everything has changed. The struggle has taken a totalitarian direction. And it's about time those of you in government started realizing the importance for you to stay up when you are giving warnings as to not violating or defaulting the rules of the land. When I say the rules of the land, of course, the land is Ambazonia. God bless you. I want to see a reaction to the number of people who are viewing this show, and the number each person who has viewed should share. When you view, you share so that we would immediately get the impact that we want. Don't forget, I have urged you all to share those posts that bring empathy and sympathy to Ambazonia. Concentrate on sharing the things that show our sufferings more than those that show the suffering of La Republique, that you have killed 2 billion soldiers that don't exist. So we have to concentrate on that. And I can take 1 or 2 calls before I go. But without said, I am very grateful that we are here finally, and our hearts are all with the people of Anjin and Bello and other places, you know, that God is going to bless them, and we're going to see how this is going to end. We will look at, let me see. So I just a message coming in, a very disturbing message. I'm going to look at that though. So, like I was saying, we want to make sure that we keep ourselves committed to the struggle. And for one of those things is to ensure that everybody stays on the side of the truth. I urge other activists to move away from defending groups and focusing on the people. I'll end this show with this very inspiring music from this our Manu sister, and I think this track is particularly